Hello and welcome back to Disturbed. I am Junior. So in the last one, I was just exploring around and I've died multiple times. This time, I do want to go back to the tree and go back underground and explore those pathways a little bit more. However, I do not remember the combination. So I'm going to have to find it real quick. Left, right, right. Alright, so now I'm back into the cave. You see 3 separate paths within the walls of the cavern. Which path do I choose? I do want to go right, and this time I'll go left. Oh, I skipped that. 2 paths you may go. Which do you choose? I'll go right. As you make your way forward, you discover a large cavern. An old-looking ship rests on the edge of the lake, with debris scattered around about the surrounding area. Well, let's go check it out. What's the worst that could happen? You cautiously walk toward the ship. The air is chilling, and you fear it won't be a good idea to stay here too long. The possibility of discovering something that can help you drives you to explore. You climb aboard the ship. As you take a moment to observe your surroundings, you're only welcomed by the trickle of water brushing against the wood of the ship. Lovely. You move about to see where you can go. Every footstep you take feels heavy as you hear the sound of wood crackling under your feet. You feel this ship has been here for quite some time. You explore under the deck of the ship. I'm going to die, aren't I? Nothing but the sound of your footsteps bounce about the structure of the ship. From one room to another, you come to discover a kitchen. Although there is nothing unique about it, you feel you should take a moment to inspect it. What's in the oven? You see a lone pot resting upon a dirty stovetop. You gaze downward and open the oven door. Nothing but ash fill the oven chamber. You close the oven door. Well, what's in the drawers then? You pull one out after another, finding they had been emptied. Dust spreads about the air as you disturb their rest. Checking underneath, you discover a rusty knife resting upon the floor. You find there are plenty of hardened rat droppings dotting the edge of the wall. You take the knife in hopes that you may defend yourself with it. Carry on. You continue your lonely tour of the ship, only to find that there's nothing of use or value. You make your way back to the deck and decide to continue your search. Again, you find nothing but empty rooms, left to remain in dark solitude. You discover a door with fancy markings about the woodwork. Perhaps this is where the captain resided. You discover the room of the captain. Unlike the other parts of the ship, everything seems to have been left alone in this room. Before you rest in old wooden desks with paper and assumed belongings of the captain. There's a small bed off near the corner of the room and some chairs in the other. You have a feeling deep down that you shouldn't take anything other than the lamp and other objects. There is a small stack of papers in contrast to a lone paper resting by itself. Approaching the desk, you begin to inspect the papers resting on the desk. I am interested in the loan document because that seems to have been taken out from the stack for reasons unknown at the moment. Notice to the crew. Due to our unexpected predicament, everyone is being split up into groups of 2 and 3. Scouting assignments will be given until we find a more habitable place to settle. For now, we must do what we can. So what's the stack? Is it the crew report? Peering about the pages of this collective pile of documents, you realize that most of these are personal notes or journal entries. You pick a few and begin to read. Day 7. The voyage has gone quite smooth as we begin our second week away from home. The spirits of the men are high as we anticipate the discovery of new lands that lie beyond our documented knowledge. It has been my dream to accomplish something world-changing. Together we may move forward with full hearts and unbreakable spirits. Day 66. It has been just over 2 months out at sea, and we have yet to discover anything new. We have suffered through many storms, and sickness has plagued the ship recently. Several of my favored crew have passed on to the next life. I see the growing doubt in the eyes of my fellow laborers as our voyage continues day after day. Food rations have been cut in half in fears that we may have to turn back. I dare not let myself think of failure. Those men who have lost their lives, the sacrifices to make this voyage possible, I cannot let them be in vain. Day 91. It has come to roughly 3 months out here on the endless blue. With much pain, we have turned around. Yes, we are headed for home port, and we have just enough food to make it back. I just hope we have a smooth journey back. The spirits of the crew are low and bitter due to our failure. I do not let myself get caught up thinking of it. Truly, we did not intend for this to happen. Interesting. Seeing that there is little left to see, you take your leave. The wood under your feet crackle as you exit the vessel. You make your way back to where the tunnel divides. So I'll go left. You move forward into the darkness. You see 3 separate paths within them. Oh, I'm back. So I'll go forward. You cautiously step forward into the darkness. You come to a divide. I'll go right. You hear subtle echo of rocks shifting rocks before you. An eye appears before you as its gaze pierces the darkness. Before you can do anything, tentacles burst from the ground and grip your body. It pulls you about, but you resist as much as you can. You remember the knife you have found and struggle to bring it out. With success, you hold the knife and begin to cut away the appendages that bind you. Interesting. I've survived. The room vibrates as you do cut, and the creature immediately leaves you alone. It takes you a moment to catch your breath. You come to a divide. Which way do you go? I still want to go right. The path you walk comes to an end. Before you shines a pillar of light. The light rests on a corpse that seems to have been here for quite some time. Near the corpse stands a lone flower. More like on the corpse. For some reason you feel hope enter your heart as you gaze upon the flower. There's something special about the scene, but you can't put your finger on it. Perhaps it may be less to leave in reverence for now. So I'll go left. You continue your way into the darkness. I guess I'll go left. You cautiously make your way through the darkness. You come to a split in paths. Which way do you go? I'll go right. You struggle forward as the way before you becomes completely dark. You notice that there's light off in the distance, and you continue to make your way forward. Eventually you make it into some sort of concrete room. Turning around, you see a hole in the wall where you came from. Your guess is that it wasn't part of the initial design. No, it looks like there was a mining operation. You turn around to see a door. There being little to nothing in the room, you decide to move on through the doorway. You find yourself in what looks like a basement. You turn about to discover that in each direction there is a door. Boxes of supplies and debris litter the floor and the corners of the room. You notice that there are several markings on the doors and the floor, some of which scare you. You've got a bad feeling about this place. Am I going to come across a werewolf that has attempted to get in here? I don't know why werewolf is the first thing that comes to mind, but there is definitely something here. I want to inspect the supplies. What's here? You walk about the room, browsing through the dust-covered storage. You find some rope in one of the boxes. It feels strong to the touch and has minimal wear. You decide to take the rope. I guess I'll go right, even though there's claws all over it. Well, claw marks. That just means it was a sturdy door, and whatever was trying to get in couldn't. You enter a small room. There's a large cauldron in the center of the room, with wood resting beneath. There is nothing on the shelves, as if someone has cleaned this place out. You look into the pot, but find nothing in it. With nothing else to see, you exit the room. Well, I'll go left, because middle is going to be the one that kills me. This is the same room I started. Okay. Okay, so the door behind me makes me walk up the steps. You enter a large room. The air is polluted with dust and spiderweb cover the wall and ceiling. Am I inside the tower? Where should you go now? Well, the only way is up. You discovered what looks like a private library. There's a passageway before you with bookcases on the left and right. Ancient knowledge from the books. Maybe it'll help me with this plague. You take a moment to look at the books. Some of them catch your eye. A Forgotten Power catches my eye most out of those. Flipping through the pages, there is one in particular that has ink markings all over it. Raw energy is powerful substance not to be trifled with. It is merely a myth that such energies exist. One does not simply stumble upon a pillar of godly power. Even if such a fate is yours, bare hands cannot contain the force. It must be bent and channeled into specially crafted vessels to carry it. There have been accounts across time of individuals possessing such power. Although they pass away as sand, their relics of power remain as powerful artifacts that nations around the world would fight for. Well, what is deception by music? There's a bent page marking a section of the book. You turn to it. The art of charming is not necessarily limited to the instruments, but how the musician goes about playing the given instrument. Some are definitely easier than others, and for such skill as this, there are few instruments recommended. The harp is one of these recommended instruments. Blah 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 blah. The harp is one of the recommended instruments. From vicious dogs to shy unicorns, the soothing voice of the harp can calm the troubled heart. Of course, not all creatures can fall for this simple trick, but it can mean the difference between life and death in some situations. Music calms the beast, or something like that. I picked up Ancient Rituals, I believe. You flip around until something grabs your attention. Pillars of Stone. Years before current times, there were unique religious practices that revolved the Stonehenge. It was said that these stones are lined up in a special way and often organized in circular pattern. Organizing the stones this way unlocks an ancient power researchers still have trouble understanding. In the middle of the circle would be a stone or two for the keystone to rest on. This is the great mystery of the ancient practice. From ancient records, it is written that the energies from the surrounding stones channel their power into the keystone. You stop reading because the next page of the book has been torn out. Lovely. I guess I'll move forward. You walk up more stairs. You pause as you notice a stone carving of a person praying that is attached to the wall. There's something odd about it, but you can't put your finger on it. With caution, you continue up the stairs. Interesting. You enter a strange room with a large globe centered about the room. There are windows that let light shine through. Oh, I was hoping the wind would keep up. You notice that there's a chest resting against the wall to the right. You also notice there's another passageway like the previous room. Given what I've seen in this game so far, I think opening the chest might just lead me to a mimic. So I'm gonna keep the chest closed, but I am intrigued by this globe. You study the globe attached to the floor surface. The craft is made of metal, and there's fine detail in the grooves. There are various markings and names scattered across the globe. It takes you a moment, but you find a marking of where you are, Aramor. You notice that there are some hand-drawn markings within the area made with black ink. There must be something close by that has interested the author of these markings. To add to the mystery, there are similar markings in other areas around the globe. Well, I'll continue forward. You climb the stairs and find a wall ending your path. Above the end of the stairway is a hatch. To the top of the tower, I say. You open the hatch and pull yourself up. You have made it to the top of the tower. Before you is a stone of power, resting upon an altar of rock. Dark vines have entangled the structure as if they were feeding off the energies of the stone. Ooh. Your body begins to tremble as you stand before the stone. You definitely feel weaker being up here, as if the stone is sapping away your energy. I should destroy it, because it's feeding the plague. This may be your only chance. You approach the stone and grasp onto it. You lose sight and feeling immediately as your hands become glued to the stone. Your life is drained from your body. Only bones remain to testify of your death. Your adventure ends here. Well, that got long-winded very quickly, actually. Alright, I'm gonna make one more go at it, but I want to go a completely different route. I want to go into the house. Entering the house, you feel a subtle uneasiness as if growing blight outside has penetrated the walls of your safe haven. From what you see, however, everything is the same as you left it. Perhaps this may be a good time just to lay in bed and wish that your problems will just go away. You fight the notion, but the temptation is still there. Let's lie in bed. You lay in your bed and fall asleep to the light of sound of wind blowing outside against the grass. You begin to hear whispers and chants, but you can't make anything of it. An image appears before you, a stone, glowing as if it were alive. The chants get louder as your vision grows in more detail. You reach toward the stone with your hand. As your finger makes contact, a clash of thunder rattles around you. Your clothing and skin start to flake away like dust in the wind. The particles flow into the stone, sapping the life from your body. You feel pain you have never experienced before, and fear begins to flood over you. You suddenly see yourself laying in bed, never to wake up again. Your adventure ends here. So that stone at the top of the tower is powerful enough that it can kill me from a distance. What seems to be quite a decent distance too, considering I believe I had to walk for several hours just to get there. Intrigued. That's what I am. Well. Anyway. I want to thank you for giving me your time of day so I can throw it out that window over there. And if you like this video for some reason, hit that like button and why not subscribe? What's the worst that could happen? Anyways, thank you, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Hey guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see Sunday's video, click right over there, and if you want to see what YouTube thinks you like, click right over there. And in the meantime, I'm going to use my own ancient knowledge to solve this blight.